Spooky season is at our doors, and while many kids are talking about what will be their next Halloween costume, in this video you'll find what my spooky investing portfolio looks like for the month of October 2024. As always, after taking a look at what are the different individual stocks that I have in my portfolio, we'll take a glance at what are the different ETFs that I have in it, and then we'll see what is the sectoral distribution of my overall portfolio, and we'll finish by what are the different individual transactions that I've made over the past month. But first, it is important to note that during the last month of September, I had different fees to pay related to my new rental properties, notably some moving fees and different taxes to pay. This makes that at the moment, I am quite low on my overall liquidity, and it means that over the past month, I haven't made any big transactions except some small ones. But now jumping in with my investing portfolio, first we're gonna start with the technology sector, and as you can see, I have most of the big GAFAM, which are Apple, Meta, Google, and Amazon. And you can find that I also hold a certain percentage of my total assets in the Elon Musk companies, Tesla. And so you can see that with the great growth that we've seen on the market over the last couple of months, these types of stocks have been performing superbly well compared to the average price that I've paid for. Notably, where Meta is up more than 150% compared to the average price that I've paid for it. Jumping out now to the energy sector, where I have two interesting companies, which are Enbridge and Pembina. You can find that both of these great oil companies have been performing quite well over the last couple of months, notably where we can see that Pembina is up by more than 100% of unrealized gain. But what is also particularly interesting about these companies is the wide and the big dividends that they are distributing to their shareholders. Unfortunately, in this video, you won't be able to find all the dividend income that I've been able to generate from these high dividend companies.
No, God!
Now going in the financial sector, you can find that I hold the Toronto Dominion Bank as well as the insurance company Manulife that are worth all a certain portion of my total assets. But even if the Toronto Dominion Bank over the last couple of years hasn't been performing that well, this has been the opposite for the Manulife company that has gained over 100% of value. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for the two telecommunication companies that I have in my portfolio, which are Bell and TELUS. Indeed, even if both of these companies are distributing some great dividend income to their shareholders, well, we can say that they have been performing well during the last couple of months, where they are both down more than about 14 and 17%. In terms of my consummation company, Couche-Tard, which I've been adding a few shares of it over the last couple of days, you can see that this great dividend growth stock has been able to perform quite well with some average return of over 32% compared to the average price that I've paid for. Now going in the materials sector with the Savaria company that I've also been adding up to my portfolio over the last couple of days, you can see that this monthly dividend stock has also been gaining some great value over the last couple of months with some total unrealized profit of over 42%. Now for my real estate investment trust Raucan that is also distributing some great monthly income from their dividends. You can also see that I am up close to 40% compared to the average price that I've paid for it. And finally, for my super small stake in the 5N Plus company, you can see that I am also up over 43% compared to the price that I've paid for these shares. Now we are jumping to the exchange trade funds part, where I'll share with you all the different ETFs that I hold in my portfolio, starting out with the largest one that I have in my portfolio, which is the Vanguard S&P 500 Index ETF with the ticker VFV. This fund that is tracking the 500 largest American companies in terms of valuation has been doing some fantastic return over the last couple of months and weeks, where we can see that its total unrealized profit has been of close to 35%. Now going into the second ETF on my list, which is the iShares Core Equity ETF with the ticker XEQT, well, you can see that this global stock market tracker has been doing okay, I would say, over the last couple of months, where I've been doing some unrealized profit of close to 7%. In terms of my ETF that is tracking the overall Canadian market, which is the iShares S&P TSX ETF with the ticker XIU, well, you can see that it has also been doing fairly okay over the past couple of months and years, with some overall unrealized profit of close to 11%. This type of return has also been achieved by the famous Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF with the ticker SCHD. However, I've been able to achieve some great performance of close to 30% of unrealized profit with the Vanguard Dividend Appreciation ETF with the ticker VIG. And finally, for what I would call my liquidity reserve, which I will be eventually using, for example, to pay back my mortgage on my rental property faster, well, you can see that for that use, I'm using the Global High Interest Savings ETF with the ticker CASH. So in total, you can now see that my investing portfolio is sitting just shy from $177,000 of worth. This means that in total, I've made some unrealized profit of over $47,000, or some profit of over 36.58%. In terms of the ETFs that I have in my portfolio, you can see that at the moment, I only have 6 ETFs in it. Plus, except of VFV and cash, you can see that my other 4 ETFs are not worth that much money. And so it is why over the next couple of months, I'll be trying to integrate more international ETF to my overall portfolio. And I also want to invest even more in the global stock market ETF tracker, which is XEQT. Nevertheless, you can see that I'm currently up by more than 15% on the average price that I paid for these ETFs. Then when we go into the sectoral distribution of my overall portfolio, you can find that most of my assets are either located in the exchange trade funds or in the technology sector. This is mainly because I want to have great diversification with ETFs, and at the same time, I want some great growth with my different individual technology companies such as Apple, Meta, and Tesla. But then I also want to receive great dividend income, for example, from my financial companies and my different energy companies that are coming at the 3rd and the 4th place. And after, we have other great sectors such as the real estate sector, the consumption sector, the communication sector, as well as the material sectors. And finally, in terms of the different transactions that I've made in my broker account over the last month, you can see that I've made a few different transactions where I first sold a few cash shares because I wanted to be able to reinvest this money in different individual stocks. And so it is why I have also decided to buy a few more shares in the Couche-Tard company and in the Savaria company that, in my opinion, have some great potential of growth. But now, on your side, if you're looking to find what is my personal investing strategy for the rest of 2024, well, check out the video that's gonna be right over here, and I will see you soon. Peace!